Today's Mind Espresso is how to create a thriving environment. We're going to focus down here, but we're going to start up here. It comes from Christine Porath, who wrote the book Mastering Civility. In the book Mastering Civility, what she's really talking about is avoiding a toxic environment. Now, she recently co-wrote an article with her husband at HBR, and it was really interesting because it highlighted the negative repercussions of toxic behavior when you're around someone who's uncivil, right? It reduces working memory, it reduces performance, it reduces your ability to process so you can't think as well, and it tamps down communication because people don't want to communicate in that environment, so then you don't get information, which of course creates distance, which creates that unsafe environment. Also, it heightens aggression and it heightens cognitive decline, something that we are all worried about. So how do you create a thriving environment, right? The opposite of a toxic environment. Well, first, it's helpful to know that they found in a thriving environment, people are highly confident and they have much lower self-doubt. So pretty simple steps how to create a thriving environment. Number one, look around and eliminate all the negativity in your life, whether it's the news, whether it's people, whatever it is that's impacting you. The brain processes negativity more strongly than positivity, and you need a 3-to-1 to 5-to-1 positivity to negativity ratio just to stay buoyant, just to stay above the waterline. So you really have to work on finding the positive, or you get sucked down into the negative. Another surprising one was don't verbalize your negativity. A lot of people want to get it off their chest, and all they do is actually strengthen the negativity by giving voice to that negativity. They found that if you say a negative thought, it actually has 10 times the impact on thriving as just thinking the thought. Underneath that, frame without drama. Eliminate the heightened language. This is probably the biggest thing that most people can do in their lives. We attach these adjectives to things, and we use language that's so heightened that it fries our brain, right? It invokes the fight or the flight system, and it brings down the thinking of the prefrontal cortex, and we juice ourselves, right? We get a cortisol shot. Next, have a neutral next play mentality, which is things aren't just good or bad, right? We just focus on the next play. And a lot of people focus on, is that bad? And then they overanalyze it, then they get stuck in a loop and they don't do the next thing. Focus on getting the next thing done and creating a positive loop. I was just listening to Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights. I've got it on audio. And he said, look, all progress starts with one step, right? Do one positive thing, build on the other. Always have a next play, next day mentality. Then, of course, gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. It doesn't mean that you don't have desire. You don't want the next big thing. It means you do have to be thankful for where you are, and being thankful for where you are is actually going to be a building block that gets you to where you want to go. If you're in a constant state of not having enough, you're not going to have the energy you need to get where you need to go. So the big take home here is we need to, especially in an environment like this, create a thriving ecosystem around us. We have to eliminate the toxic part of our lives, right? It reduces working memory, our performance, our process, communication, right? It creates cognitive decline. And we've got to engineer an environment where we have a positive ratio, right? 3-to-1, 5-to-1. We're not voicing our negativity. We're not over dramatizing things. And we can get up and get the next thing done and start a positive cycle, right? Next play mentality. And that is this week's Mind Espresso on thriving.